This is the plaintiff, Stephen Jones Jr. He says the terrible defendant took advantage of him and unloaded a piece of junk on him, and he wants to get back and get a refund. The defendant refuses to work with him, so he's suing him here and now for $5,000, the cost of the car, insurance, and the unhealthy stress he was caused. This is the defendant, Michael Linnaeus. He says he sent a tow truck 50 miles to the guy's house to take a look at it because the plaintiff complained the check engine light had come on when he got home. The plaintiff refused to release the truck to him so he could fix it for him. Now the guy's suing him? The plaintiff stopped payment on the truck. The finance company repossessed it, and here they are. He's accused of not checking the engine.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case. On the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant unloaded a piece of junk on him in the form of a truck. But the defendant says the plaintiff is impossible to please. It's the case of I'm all trucked up.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Mr. Jones,
How you doing?
you bought a car from Quality Auto Sales Service?
Yes.
All right. And how much did you pay for the car?
The cost was $6,000. I put down $2,000.
Can I see your paperwork?
Yes. Here goes on.
Thank you. So now you take the car with you. It's financed through a third party, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you the owner of that third party finance company?
No, Your Honor.
That's totally a separate company from
Yes,
you.
Your Honor.
So typically speaking, then, that would mean that remainder of $4,467.37 came to you by check from the finance company.
Yes, Your Honor.
When the car was sold. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes,
That's
Your
what
Honor.
happened.
Yes.
All right. Now you take the car, you take it with you, and what goes wrong?
The truck was idle up too high, whatever.
It was what?
Idle up too high.
It was idling too high?
Yeah,
Had you take? I'm
too much
sorry. I'm
noise.
sorry. I'm under the impression that you still haven't picked up the truck.
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah. No, I had came to get the truck.
Okay, you turned it on and you
Yes.
felt it was idling too
It was
high.
too loud. It was
Okay.
too loud. Then they said, we're going to put a brand new manifold in there. Okay? They said, well, you come back. Okay? So I comes back, and it sound good now at the time. I get on the highway, I might have got to exit 37, and then check light came on, engine light came on, popped
Okay.
on. I said, oh, like that. But in the meantime, the truck is still running. It's running all right at the time. So now I get it home that Saturday. Now I got a doctor appointment Monday now.
Oh my God, I got to go through your whole schedule.
All right.
Tell me when we
Okay,
get to the bad part with the car.
Okay, so I go to start the car Monday. It wouldn't even start. Kept going like that.
Yeah.
So I called and I tell them. They said, well, can you volunteer to bring the truck to the tow place?
How are you going to bring the
Yeah,
truck to the tow place? It wouldn't start.
The tow people, can you get them to tow it to them?
What tow people?
The AAA.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
AAA. Can you get AAA?
Did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I called them. They say they're gonna charge $300 and something dollars.
So then you didn't have AAA to do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I can get them to
So
do
who
it.
tows it over to his place?
It sits there for
Where? Where is there?
At my house.
Okay.
It sits in my driveway
For how long?
for a week.
Okay.
So in the meantime, I called a mechanic. They had
A
it towed
different
to him.
mechanic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had it towed to him.
Okay. So you never brought the car back to him?
No, I had it towed to the mechanic.
Okay.
To show me what's wrong with it. Okay? So now they fixed the wiring and the head behind the engine. They fixed that. And they said, oh, no, they have to be programmed now because all the wire was all screwed up. Okay, he does that. He said, well, I don't do the programming. So you have to take it to the Dodge place. So I asked him, I said, can you take it to the Dodge place for me? He took it to the Dodge.
When you say him, who are you referring to? That
Eddie.
same other
Eddie.
mechanic.
Yeah,
Got it.
Eddie.
Go
yeah,
on.
Eddie.
Okay.
Eddie, the auto mechanic.
Okay, we're going to call him Eddie. Go
Okay,
ahead.
yep. So he takes it to the Dodge place. So they called me up. They said, well, we program it but Mr. Jones, there's still something going on with the truck. We still have to drive with 2 feet. There's still something going on with the truck.
How do you drive a truck with 2 feet? How do you have to drive a truck with 2 feet?
Keep it going. They'll keep it running.
Because if you take your
Yeah.
foot off the accelerator, it'll turn off?
Yeah, turn off. Yeah, that's what he
right.
said. And this the Dodge place.
Okay.
So then
Do
they
you have
said,
anything from the Dodge place?
I didn't get nothing for them because now they telling me, well, we're gonna look and see what else going on with it. They said, well, the manifold need to be fixed. That's $1,500 to have that done.
Okay, and
I said
according to you, they
1,500.
had just said that they had replaced the manifold,
Yeah,
right?
they just told me they just did it. That's what I'm saying. They just said
Okay,
they
so did you get Dodge to put it all in writing, all the
No.
things you're saying?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so then what happens?
I gave Dodge their telephone number.
The defendant's telephone
Yes,
number?
I gave them their telephone
and told
number.
them what?
To call them and tell them that you got their truck.
Meaning what? You abandoned the truck?
Yo, I said that I wasn't gonna pay no $1,500 to get it fixed. So that's what I told
Why
him.
didn't you take the truck and bring it back to him like he had told you to?
Because I couldn't get it to him as it was too far at the time.
Well, why didn't you? Okay, did you call him and tell him your truck is at Dodge?
Yes,
Okay,
I did tell him.
okay. So what happens with the truck when he called you and told you that it was at Dodge?
Dodge called us, said that he left the truck there. We asked, is there a bill on the truck?
A what on the
A
truck?
bill on the truck?
Meaning to Dodge.
So he had a diagnostic bill there, and we had to pay it to
You
get
had to
the
pay the
truck back
diagnostic to
from
take the
Dodge.
truck. But why are you even doing that? Why are you getting involved in that? Why don't you just?
Because he abandoned
Because
the
he
truck.
abandoned the
Yeah,
truck.
but you're not the bank. That's why I asked that question.
I
That
co-signed.
I need you to wait and listen to me. You what?
I co-sign all the loans. I'm like guarantor on all the loans.
You're kidding me.
Yeah,
You're a co-signer on every car you sell?
I'm a guarantor.
You're not
yeah.
on the title though, right?
No, I'm not on the title.
Because
The
that would then
bank's on the
obligate you if
title.
they have accidents.
Yeah.
So you are a co-signer.
I'm like a guarantor on all the loans.
That's what a co-signer is.
Yeah.
You're a co-signer on every single loan?
Yeah,
You really are selling to people without credit.
yeah. And bad credit. I try to help
Yeah, bad
people out.
credit.
Believe it or not, I try to help people out. I really
Well,
do.
no, you obviously make a buck or you wouldn't be doing this,
Yeah,
but
well,
I don't think you're doing it just,
we're in
you
business
serve in a
to be
soup
a
kitchen if
yeah.
you're just being
No,
a good guy. But the car, who repossesses the car from Dodge?
We sent the tow truck to go get it and paid the bill.
And why did Dodge release it to you? Like, who are you? You're just some car dealership. Why would Dodge release
He
it to you?
told them that we were coming to get it. He
Okay.
called us.
So you pick it up and you do what with it?
Well, we look at the truck to see what was wrong with it because we told them we would fix it. We didn't have a problem fixing it. And what the problem was a vacuum popped off. When we put the manifold on, there's a vacuum line that went to it. You can't see it because it's under everything, and it came off. And that's why it was stalling and hard starting. The vacuum hose came off it.
So
We
what you
fixed
do?
it, and it was fine. We called him, told him to come and get the truck. He said he didn't want it.
And then he just wanted his money back.
Yeah.
All right. So then where's the truck right now?
We resold it.
You sold it.
Yes.
So you actually sold it for how much?
I believe it was 5,000.
No, it wasn't. It was 7,
I don't know.
which was a good deal for you. Pull out the paperwork.
It wasn't a good. I got my money back because I had to pay the tax and all that. There was expense on the truck.
Well, we're going to talk about that because
Yeah.
there's a procedure, right, for repossessions in your state, like there is in every state.
Yeah,
You're supposed to send a notice out. You're supposed to have a public auction. You can't just resell it.
the loan company did that. Send them a notice and all that.
Let me see it.
I don't have it. I'm not the loan company.
Yeah, but you're the guy defending.
Yeah, but I'm not the loan company,
I
Your
don't
Honor.
care. You're the guy getting sued for a return of the money. And if-
Quality Auto's getting sued, not the loan company. I don't have nothing to do with the loan company.
Right, but you're getting sued
Mm-hmm.
to return the money, and you're telling me you resold the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see proof of that the law was followed. You can't just take the car, sell it, and say, you're out $2,000 and I made $7,000 on a resale.
The loan company gave him an opportunity of 15 days.
I need to see that, right? I need to
I'm
see
not the loan company.
Well, see, the thing is, the loan company does usually. I used to be a repo man.
No, I know.
Okay.
So was I.
Okay.
40 years.
So, right. So the loan company should be repoing the car in a legal repo. You've
Yeah.
got this fugazi thing going on where you're a guarantor on all of them.
Yeah.
And then you take the car and then you sell it, but that doesn't absolve you of having to show me that everything was done right. That's where the problem lies.
Well, being
So-
a licensed dealer by the state of Connecticut,
I'm supposed to do everything right, or I wouldn't have a
Right.
dealer's license.
That's right. So
And the
just show
finance
me that you did it
company-
right, because you're
The
supposed to do it
finance
right.
company wouldn't have a finance license if they didn't do it right.
So that's all you got to do is say, "Trust me, Judge.
But I'm
we're
not the
licensed,"
finance
and that's all I
company,
got.
Your Honor.
Pardon me.
I'm not the finance company.
You're the guy getting
can't
sued
go
for a
ask for their
return
paperwork.
of the. Well, then you should have,
Okay.
because you're supposed to be prepared when you come to court.
Okay, I have a question. Is it more reliable to buy a used car from a private party or a dealer?
I would say a dealer.
Because
Because they're a dealer and a private buyer can do what they please.
what's the advantage of buying from a private party?
You might get a lower price.
Might get a lower price. What's the advantage of buying from a dealer?
Warranty and
You know what? I'm glad you said that. I'm going to say something as soon as we come back from court. Going inside the courtroom.
So you took a car that he owns,
Yeah.
that you are a guarantor on,
Yeah.
and went ahead and sold it, and then you're not going to give the guy his money back, even though you decided what to do with it.
He never paid his loan. They repossessed it.
Oh, show me that.
I'm not the finance
You
company.
want it both ways.
No.
You want to be the finance company and
Your
tell
Honor.
me how it got repoed,
Your
and
Honor.
not be the finance
Your Honor,
company
I'm
and not
not
have to
the
show it to me.
I'm not
So what's the
National
money he
Auto
put
Loans,
down
Your
then?
Honor.
It's $2,000?
He put
I'm ordering you to
$1,800.
return the $2,000.
$1,800
Your
he
piece of
gave us.
paper says $2,000.
No, if you look, it says he owes us $200.
No.
I'll give it to you.
No,
Your
no,
Honor.
no.
It's right here, the evidence.
What
Says
did you wrote
owes
on
$200.
You're going to need to listen to the
Okay.
judge when she asks a question.
All right.
Why did you write a piece of paper that says deposit cash $2,000 if he didn't give
That's an
$2,000?
invoice, Your Honor.
Okay. What have you got to show that he paid less? Go ahead. Why do these two things contradict each other? Like this has a date of 1/15, and then it says he owes 200 on 1/31. And then this is written in the middle of all that on 1/22.
Because when he came to pick up the car, he didn't have all the money, and that paperwork was
No, I
already
need to know.
billed out.
I need to see paperwork for 1/31. Did you put down 1,800 and owe 200 on 1/31?
2,000. That's what I get.
Okay, so now see he's
That's
contesting
include-
this.
that's
So now
including
you've got
the
it. You've
license
got.
plate and everything.
Okay, I don't want to hear about your
Yeah,
license
okay.
plates. I want to know how much cash you
Yeah,
gave them.
2,000.
Okay, so now if you're telling me that he didn't give 2,000, why do you guys author this contract that says sold, okay, that says 1/22/2000, and then author a conflicting one that was written on 1/15 that says on 1/31 he has to pay 200, but then this one that's written
want me to
after this
explain it,
one
Your Honor?
says he put
Because it
down 2
forged
grand.
my-
I'll
name.
explain it to you. When he came in and purchased the car, that order there you have in your hand.
Which one? I have 2. The big one or the
that
little one?
The
Right,
big
and
one.
this is January
That's-
15th. Oh, I'm gonna
No.
interrupt you. So if that's insulting you, we got a
No,
problem.
no, I just don't
All
wanna talk
That one's
over you,
dated
Your Honor.
January 15th.
That's when he purchased the car. That's when he
Right.
came in.
Right.
He gave us a deposit.
right?
The other invoice, in your other hand, is when he came to pick up the car.
Okay, why didn't you just write here? If he hadn't paid the 200, why didn't you just write
'Cause we
here?
wrote it on the
I
main
didn't finish
order.
my question. Why didn't you just write here 1,800?
Because we wrote it on the other order.
But do you understand what you wrote
He
here?
signed that.
Yeah, and he signed this too.
No, he signed where it
Okay,
says
so
he
this
owed
is
us
just from you.
200.
You know what? No, be more clear on your paperwork.
Oh,
you
man.
write a piece of paper that says the guy gave me 2 grand, but you want me to believe, even though
Your
this is
Honor, you
written.
know what?
Stop talking.
I'm not gonna
Get
be
out.
clear.
Get out. Get out.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You write a piece of paper that says January 15th, you still owe me to January 31st. Go ahead. You want to go too? You can go. No problem. He writes a piece of paper that says on January 15th, you owe me $200 more, which is probably correct. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Then he writes another piece of paper a week later that says you paid me $2,000. This piece of paper should say you still owe me $200 if you hadn't paid the $200. Now, look me in the eye.
Yes.
Did you pay a full $2,000 or did you pay $1,800?
Full
Don't you lie to me.
I don't lie. I don't lie. Full 2,000.
Then he's giving you back that $2,000. Now, you are also suing for the insurance that you put on the car, but why didn't you just cancel the insurance? You should have gotten that money back from the insurance.
They made me get the insurance just to get the
Now,
truck
that's
off.
not my question.
Okay, yeah.
If I no longer
did
have a
cancel.
car, I no longer pay insurance. What
Yeah,
happened?
I canceled it.
Then why are you suing for it if you canceled it? Then they
I
gave you the
paid for it.
refund.
They didn't give me no money.
Well, if you canceled the insurance, they refund the money.
No, they didn't give me no money
Then
back.
take it up with your insurance company. That's not something he has to pay. You
Okay.
did make 3 weekly payments of $75.
Yes,
you
I
get
did.
that back. The mechanic repairs you proved to
I
me,
got
right?
that. I
Where's
got
that? Do I have it?
Yep, yeah, go ahead.
You get that. And what's the license plate?
License plate, they made me get change my plate because
May I see proof of the $100 you're
it's all in the bill when they gave me it. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
It's all in the bill.
Well,
But I
you didn't
get
pay
the
it. You
bill.
only paid $2,000. If you get all that back, then you're getting that back. This is all taken care of by returning your $2,000 and returning your monthly payments. So I take it you do not have a separate bill for $100, correct?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So I am ordering them to return to you $2,425. Verdict for the plaintiff.
So the plaintiff gets back $2,400 from the defendant who angrily stormed out of the courtroom. He's going to find out. He's going to be upset when he hears what happened.
Yes.
How do you feel about what happened today?
Well, I didn't get all my money back, but
Well, you are. You're being made whole again.
but
You're
still a lot more money involved in it. So
Like
I didn't
what?
receive it. Like I said, I paid out, and she's saying that
you
I have
get
to go to other people.
$2,400 back.
Yes.
You should be happy.
Well, I'm still a little happy, but not all the way
Okay.
happy. But you know,
Straighten him out,
appreciate it.
okay?
Yes.
He's going to help straighten you out.
Yes.
And cancel your insurance.
Yes, I will do that.
Good for you.
All right.
Congratulations. Okay, goodbye. Harvey?
You know, it's so interesting, Doug. I mean, this lady mentioned a warranty and said that that's the advantage with a dealer. The reality is you can even get a warranty from a private party. Even if they say, I'm not giving warranties, say, I'm not going to buy the car unless you give me one, you can negotiate that.
This is the plaintiff, Cheyenne Connors Murphy. She says she purchased what she thought was a sweet Cadillac Escalade from the defendant, but the thing died on the highway a few days after she bought it. The guy knowingly sold her a dud, and she's suing for the $4,000.50 she's owed. This is the defendant, Michael Winley. He says the plaintiff fell behind on her car payments, and he had to repossess the car from her. How she thinks she can win this case is beyond him. But hey, it's a free country, so go ahead, give it your best shot. He's accused of unloading a crummy caddy.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says she bought what she thought was a cherry Cadillac from the defendant and says it turned out to be a piece of junk. But the defendant says he had to repossess the thing from the plaintiff for non-payment and says the plaintiff doesn't have a legal leg to stand on. It's the case of that's one crappy caddy.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Murphy, you could put your hand down now.
Oh.
Okay. Tell me what happened.
I purchased the car August the 12th. We discussed about getting the car. Before I purchased the car, I noticed some issues. We agreed upon the issues to be fixed that following Monday. Well, before that following Monday, I would say 2 days later, the car stopped working. It just shut off completely. I called him that Friday to try to get a hold of him. No response, no nothing. That Sunday I had got it towed to the shop for Monday repairs. And also I called him again. I contacted again, explained to him like I need these issues resolved. He didn't respond. I had to really get nasty with him to get a response.
Okay. Did you get a response? Like, what made you tow the car and know that they'd get to it on Monday, or did you just tow it there so that it would be ready?
That following Monday, we agree upon the monitor and the power and steering. It was getting fixed that Monday. That's why I paid the extra.
Okay, that had already been. Okay, so that had already been on the plan.
Been
okay, got it.
established.
So you get it towed over there. Then when do you talk to him, and what do you guys talk about?
I was supposedly, because I just got off the phone with him, And I was supposedly thought they talked to him about getting these additional work done. It didn't go as planned. They didn't have no knowledge of these works needed to be done. They didn't have the knowledge of the power and steering needed to be done that day after we agreed upon that. Was it Wednesday?
Mr. Winley, was she supposed to be bringing the car in on Monday to get some repairs that had been agreed upon beforehand?
I am the owner. I did not know anything about it. I didn't know anything about what was going on till maybe a week later. And when I asked
so let me go
employee-
back to you, Ms. Hold on. We'll get back to you then in a moment. Ms. Murphy, so now what happens? Do they do the repair that you were there for?
No, they didn't do nothing. I ended up calling the police, and when I called the police, he told me he
Wait, on Monday? Wait, on Monday you called the police?
Yeah, because he wasn't responding. He wasn't trying to tell me nothing. They wasn't trying to tell me was that when these issues was going to get fixed or anything. I even offered them to put me in another car or refund my money.
Okay, let's go back to the actual car sale and see what the documents say. Okay, this is the bill of sale to you. And was this car sold as is, or did it have a warranty, Mr. Winley?
This car was sold as is, no warranty.
How many miles did this car have?
According to the paperwork, 155,750 miles.
So I'm looking at your warranty, and it clearly says, Ms. Murphy, as is, no dealer warranty. But, Mr. Winley, it also says, we have agreed to fix her dash gauges and power steering pump. Customer has paid $200 for parts and labor. That's right on her paperwork. Can you see that?
I see it. What she told me the car was there for is that she wanted me to put a new battery in it and alternator, and I told her that was not part of our agreement.
Okay. Well, did you guys do what you had agreed to fix?
To be 100% honest with you, I'm not sure whether we fixed that part of it or not, but out of kindness, after listening to her email me back and forth, I told my guys to go ahead and put an alternator and a new battery in it just to make her be quiet. So we did do that.
Well, don't you have
out of
business
the kindness
records?
of it.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're getting sued, and you're getting sued not just in regular court, but on the people's court. So the entire nation's eyes are on you. And so I'm curious, did you look at your paperwork, and what did you guys fix, and what didn't you fix? Don't you have paperwork for all that stuff?
Truthfully, Your Honor, I cannot tell you if that was fixed or not.
All right. Did she take the car? Did she take the car that day?
No, she let it sit there for like 3 or 4 weeks and never came got it.
Okay. Did you, Ms. Murphy, did you ever take the car back, or you just left it on the lot that day?
I couldn't get the car because the car it never started. I couldn't move the car because nothing was never done on it.
Here's what I'm not understanding. You called the police that day, and according to you, who did you speak to that said, we're not fixing your car because you called the police? Who did you speak to?
I spoke with him through text, and he sent me a text. That's why I have.
Do you have the text where he says we're not fixing anything?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so on Friday you say, hey, I'm at the side of the road, broke down. On Saturday you say, hey, can you give me a call? On Sunday you say, I'm honestly trying to be nice here, but I'm really highly upset at this point. His answer is, we do not work on cars. Sounds like it needs a battery or an alternator. Get someone to fix it. We only sell cars, and we sell them as is, no warranty. It might need a fuse. I only answer my phone during business hours. I'm with my family today. Respect my privacy. I understand you sell cars as is, but my thing is I'm still within the lemon law. And you answer, this is the last time I will answer your text, not in business hours. There's no lemon law on used cars. It needs a battery or an alternator. Call the car lot tomorrow. I'll advise them to get you a different battery and sell you an alternator for about $50. So on Monday, you say, can you give me a call? I'm trying to be nice here, but I need some type of response. I'm getting upset. You're not responding. All I'm asking is, can you put me in another car that's drivable or return my money? I told you this 10 times. We sell cars as is. You list all my kindness by stopping in and calling the police. Once a customer does that, the car is sold as is. No warranty, no kindness left. This is what you tell a customer? Do you know what it is? No warranty means look it up before you sign. I will also sue you for harassment. Yes, harassment, disrupting my business. Yes, I also want all drug dealers in jail. That's where you all belong. Why are you telling your customer that? Go ahead, Mr.
Basically, her boyfriends and her husband and her other people are major drug dealers, and they buy cars from me, and I don't want to associate with that crowd no more, and I don't know why they keep coming to me, and I tried to tell her I do not want that crowd around me. And the girl that
apparently
runs the
their money's
car
green
lot-
enough. But so now what happens is, it's time to pay the payment, but you're not going to pay the payment. You don't even have the car, and they're telling you tough. And what you want is your money back because you're saying that they breached the contract. They're saying that you breached the contract. Now, what ended up happening with the car, Mr. Winley? Where is it today?
Well, we repoed the car, right? And then we gave her 10-day notice that if she doesn't pay for her car in 10 days, the car will now belong back to Michael J. Auto Sales.
May I see proof that you sent the notice? Let me see proof that you sent the notice, because you didn't even introduce into right. No, and you didn't even introduce into evidence today anything supporting that you did an official legal repo. You didn't even have any paperwork on anything. We asked you, and you took a piece of paper and wrote down the following in handwriting. Let's see. You wrote this out, which I guess you wrote today. And you're charging $600 for repossessing it, but it was on your lot. You didn't have to repossess it. You're charging $250 for cleaning it. The lady had it 2 days. You're charging $250 for reposting it on Craigslist, but that's free. Completely went through the truck and fixed all issues. That's what she wanted you to do. Changed tires, changed oil filter, and tune-up, $1,500. And so what you did is this car got sold to another individual, right?
We fixed all the problems that we drove it, fixed whatever problems we believed it had, and we sold it to another individual, that car is also in the repo.
So you resold the car for $4,000. So if you get that money, which I know you financed, and you're saying now that that's in repo, do you have that car again then?
I do not have the car back. We have not been able to find it yet. It's in repo.
Okay. Do you have any evidence that it's in repo?
I'd like to say something about all the questions that you're asking me. I've been to small claims court in Cincinnati probably 20 times. And they never ask for all the information you're asking for. I've never been asked for all the stuff that you're asking me for before in my life.
Welcome back to the People's Court. This is great. So the defendant is saying that he's been to court like 20 times, and he's never dealt with a judge who was so thorough as Judge Milian, and he doesn't like it. Let's go back into the courtroom.
When you've gone to small claims, no one asks you for proof of the new sale so that they can figure out if any money's due. No one has ever asked you that.
They have never asked me for proof of a new sale.
Okay, well then if that's true, and I highly doubt it, then that's a sad state of affairs in Cincinnati. That is all I can tell you. Because Ohio has laws that talk about how an appropriate repossession occurs. But I don't even need to get into all that, because what I have is the following. She buys the car. 2 days later, the car is no longer a car. It doesn't work. He's right that it's an as-is sale. So that's a problem for you. But then she has this side deal with you guys where you're supposed to do a certain amount of work, and she gave you guys $200 to do that work. That is part of the sale of the car. It's right in the contract that I showed you. And what happens? Everybody gets into a Quienes Mas Macho match, and you send her a text saying, that's it. You get the police involved, now my kindness is over, and we're not going to do anything for you. And she points out it's part of the contract that I gave you $200 to do other work, and then that's it. Nobody's doing the other work. You don't have proof you did the work that's part of the contract. You don't have any proof you did it. You don't have the mechanic who did the work you claimed that you were going to do to get the car running. We have no evidence that the car was running on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on any time. You have no evidence, and your answer is to look at me and say, I've been to court 20 times and no judge asked for evidence. Like, I'm too demanding because I want evidence? No. As far as I'm concerned, you guys breached the contract. You breached the contract when you didn't follow what you put in the contract, which is you gave us $200 and we're going to fix these other things for you. So as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Winley, you and your agency are the ones who breached the contract and not Ms. Murphy. And I'm ordering you to return her $3,000 plus the $200 she pays for repairs that we have zero evidence ever took place. I'm not going to order him to pay you for the tow. The tow was your business because it broke down and you didn't have a warranty. In other words, you have a right to have that work done, but this new stuff with a battery and an alternator is not something that you have a right to be recompensed for. He's right. He was doing that he was just going to get it done. That's why it's, I got a bad temper. You got a bad temper. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it doesn't. You would have gotten that work done for free, maybe, or there might have been other problems with the car. I don't know. But the bottom line is you're probably pretty happy that you're just out of it. So I am going to order them to return the $3,000 plus the $200 that you paid for a sum total judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $3,200 because I find that it's the defendant who breached the contract by not doing that additional work that you paid for in your very original contract. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff is going to get $3,200 back. She's going to prevail, no question about it. Mr. Winley, the car dealer, I'd like to know what you're thinking right now. You just kind of got it from the judge.
She's asked me for a lot more information than I've ever been asked before, but I guess maybe she's a lot better judge than what I'm used to.
There you go. I think you probably hit the nail on the head. All right, Ms. Murphy, you must feel pretty good right now.
Yep. I got my point across.
Okay.
Hey.
Good enough. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm not really sure, but I think that was a compliment when the defendant said you're a little more demanding or a little better than most of the judges I'm in front of.
I was kind of surprised myself.
Right. But interesting in this case, if there hadn't been that deal, that little side deal for $200, it would have turned out
very different case, right?
Because then I got to go. That was there.
Right. She got lucky because there was that additional requirement in the contract, and he had no proof that
at the end of the day.
Because otherwise I've got to go through the math. I've got to figure out what his expenses are, whether she gets any money back on the new sale and everything else, and figure out whether he followed Ohio law, whether he sent her the notice that he was repoing it. None of which he had submitted into evidence and had.
They do have to dot the I's and cross the T's on things like that. But an interesting aspect of the case as well is that he's already flipped that car again. That car's been resold. It's getting repoed. It's in the process of...
Well, he says that, but that's the first time that's come up.
Get back out again.
And then he'll sell it again.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
In a way, but,
Yeah.
So as long as people pay.
Right.
So Daryl wants to know this. Hey, Harvey, if you're a healthcare worker in a setting with COVID-positive patients, is it illegal for your employer not to offer you hazard pay? This is so interesting. Most states are not requiring hazard pay. Some are, but a lot of companies have specific rules on that. So I would first check your state. My guess is probably they're not going to demand it, but then I would check your company because they may have rules that entitle you.
These are the plaintiffs, Tanisha Kane, Dara Evans, and Pamela Turner. Tanisha says they're friends with the defendant's mother, and they purchased a car from him. After giving him a deposit, they took it to their mechanic, and he told them to give the car back. It had no emergency brakes, spark plugs, or transmission fluid. The defendant should be going to jail for trying to sell them a dangerous car. They're now out all kinds of money and are suing him here and now for the $2,000 they're owed. This is the defendant, Christopher Putman. He says the plaintiffs are crazy. They bought his car, they haven't paid him in full for the car, and anything that's now wrong with it after all this time's on them, not him. He doesn't know how they think they can get away with keeping his car, not paying for it in full, and then taking him to court and suing him. Because if anyone's owed money here today, it's him. He's accused of unloading a hoopty. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for the balance owed on the car and slander.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff bought a car from the defendant and says the emergency brake was busted and on and on. The defendant says that it's all on the plaintiff's watch. It's the case of hoop-dee-doo.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Tanisha Kane.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Dara Evans. Dara Evans and Pamela Turner.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You are suing Christopher Putnam?
Yep.
For $2,000 for the refund of a purchase price that you bought, car repairs, locksmith, and car parts. You have a counterclaim against them for $5,000 because you want more for the car you sold them that they're unhappy with. And you want to be reimbursed for costs of repossession and slander. All right, let me hear from you.
Well, early March, first of all, I start this way. I'm very good friends with the defendant's mother. I'm very active in the rescue.
Oh, this is awkward.
Well, I'm very active in the rescue community. And she donates...
In the what community?
Animal rescue.
Animal rescue.
Yes.
Okay.
She donates food, clothing, used towels, things like that, that I distribute throughout to the rescues.
Okay.
We had seen the car in the driveway, and I was like, well, you know, what's going on with all these cars here? And she informed us that her son was selling them. And so we said, well, how much does he want for this one? She calls him on the phone. He says $1,000. We all heard it. We all agreed. Oh, great, because that's exactly what he was getting back from taxes. And so we decided...
Okay, he is what to you?
I'm sorry, this is my stepson.
Okay.
Yep. And so we decided, great, perfect, $1,000, good car, you know, because he claimed that everything was taken care of. There was no problems with it. It was newly inspected. And so we did all that. And then we had to go to the mechanic because the car just isn't working correctly.
Well, you bought the car. How much did you buy it for?
We paid $1,000. And then a couple days later, after we had settled on the $1,000 price, he turns around and says, well, I need another $500 for the car. And because I have a total...
I'm sorry, you already have the car?
Yes.
And
well, no, wait, excuse me, Your Honor. At that point, we had not taken possession of the car yet.
Had you paid the $1,000?
No, not yet.
Oh, so,
not yet.
Wait a minute, hold on, back it up. All right, so you bought a car for $1,500.
Not exactly, Your Honor, because...
I don't understand. Is there a bill of sale in this
Yes.
case? Give me the bill of sale. All right, let's see.
Yes.
All right. $1,000 down on a 2006 Ford Taurus, $500 balance due, signatures of both of you. Is this your signature?
It's
Or
my
somebody's signature, your signature. All right, so did you or did you not buy a car for $1,500?
Correct.
Okay, all right,
right.
so you agree to the $1,500, you bring them only $1,000, and why do you release a car if the full payment isn't made?
Your Honor, I do a lot of buy here, pay here's. I was in a process of closing down my shop.
Where, buy here what?
Buy here, pay here, where somebody makes payments, they don't go through a bank. I basically fund the car out of my pocket and let somebody make payments on the car.
Why?
It's kind of how I do things for people that don't have good credit and things of that nature, to where I'm kind of conveniencing them to try to help them out in getting a car where they can't go through a bank and get a loan and so on
Well,
and
I
so
guess
forth.
it's a niche business, because if I don't have good credit and the only way I can get a car is by paying whatever you ask, I guess that works. And this is the proof of the agreement.
Right. Now,
I want to spring for some real receipts.
well, again, Your Honor.
Hey, I don't care. It's written. What do I always say? There is crayon and toilet paper, and you went with a sticky and a pencil. So I'm good. A pen. It's a pen.
That I did make sure of, Your Honor. That was a pen that I wrote it with.
All right. So what happens? You take the car, and then you take after purchasing it is when you take it to a mechanic.
Correct, because there was problems with the car. It was not even a full day after my son had taken possession.
So let's talk. You talk to me and tell me what happened when you drove the car. You don't have to move. We have a microphone right there. You're perfectly fine
well,
there.
after I took the car, right away, a couple hours, the engine light clicks right on. I hit him up. I hit the defendant up right away and let him know, look, engine light's cut on. I don't know why. I haven't gone anywhere. I only drive from home to work, back and forth. So he's all, bring it over, check it out. He told me there were, the word, if I use correctly, misreads or misfires or whatever.
What's that mean?
It means when the spark plug and the spark plug wire, they're not getting the right voltage through them.
So how do you solve that?
You change the spark plugs or the wires, either one. I told him what I would do was I would go get spark plugs for you and install them in the car. That's the only thing that's coming up while your check engine light is on. It's nothing for you to work.
So did somebody do that?
Yes.
All right. So at some point, you asked, where's the rest of my money? When was the money supposed to get to you?
In 2 weeks. In 2 weeks from initially signing that payment.
And then, so what happens in 2 weeks? Do you ask for your money?
No, because within those 2 weeks' time,
they're calling about the issues.
Right. I mean, they're just, again, from day one, Your Honor, like I said, they brought me the $1,000. The three of them showed up at my mother's house. When they gave me the $1,000, okay, the very next day, I explained to them, I said, well, I'll go to DMV for you and get your plates. She must have took that as, I'm going to pay for your plates. I'm going to pay for the taxes on your $1,500 car. And that's right then and there is where it went crazy. Because she kept saying to me, I'm not paying the taxes. And I kept explaining to her, listen, I'm not paying the taxes on your car. I got to pay my own taxes.
At some point, did you say, all right, I'll just pay the taxes? And so it was just the cost of registration that you were arguing about?
And that's what I did just to kind of keep the
Okay, I got
peace.
So if the emergency brake is busted, does the defendant have to pay?
No, because I think that it is as is, no warranty.
As is means?
Means that it is the...
Tough luck.
tough luck.
Exactly, going inside the courtroom.
And so you are suing because you feel that you have a lemon law claim, a warranty on this car. And I am here to tell you, you do not. Legally speaking, this is an as-is sale. Okay? You do not have any claim to have him fix the first spark plug, much less anything else. You have no right to demand boo in an as-is sale. That's the law. So you will not be getting a refund of the purchase price of the car, because let's talk about what you're suing for. You want a $1,000 refund of the purchase price of the car. You want $500 to repair a bunch of stuff, so now you have a free car. You want $300 for a locksmith. Let's get to that part. They don't pay you a penny more. In your estimation, they owe you $640. So what do? You send somebody to his place of business to take the car.
To his job, yes.
Why?
Because I assured them when they purchased the car from me, Your Honor, and I have the extra set of keys in my pocket that I showed them when they gave me the $1,000, and I explained to them, if I don't have my $500 in 2 weeks, I will be coming to get the car, okay? I didn't put a lien on the car, and then we would have never been here because, again, they were friends of my mother. I didn't think it would go this far.
What's your mother say about all this?
I mean, she's called my mother's phone threatening that I'm going to jail behind this.
Are you kidding me? You called his mother? You have to torment the mother?
No, that's
Your Honor, I got a note right here from my mother, signed right here.
On another sticky note?
Your Honor.
Yeah, no.
Why don't you buy yourself a legal pad, a roll of paper, something?
This is a note saying that she left a message on there, my mother's answer machine, telling her I'm going to jail.
Let's not get bogged in. I don't even want to know about that. I want to ask you, so then you send somebody to go take the car.
Yeah.
Who'd you send?
I sent my son.
Your son?
Yeah, my son works for me as far as my business goes, yes. And again, it was an easy repo. I have the keys to the car. I knew it was parked in the parking lot.
Right.
I mean,
so you go out there, your son takes the car, then you call the police?
We did, yes.
And the police explained to you, dude, you can't just take the car. You let them register the car in their name. It's now legally theirs. If you file a lien, you can, that's how the law lets you, because we can't just have people keeping keys and then running over and taking a car.
Correct, 100%.
We don't want that. Well, that's how you do business, but that's not what we want.
100%.
Okay? All right, so the police make you return the car. You then now want the $300 that you paid a locksmith to switch the keys on the car.
The ignition
and the key, which you chose to do, and I think that was a wise choice for you to do that. But why would he have to pay that? That was a choice that you made. He took the car, he got spanked, and he had to return the car. So
if he wouldn't have touched the car, I wouldn't have had to change the ignition.
No, it's not. That's not true. He didn't damage the ignition. You changed it, and as I said, I think it was a wise move on your part. You changed it because you wanted to make sure he couldn't take the car a second time.
Exactly.
I don't know why we would think he would when the police spanked him, but good, and told him, "What are you nuts? You don't have a lien. Give the car." So. Although I think that was a good move on your part, I don't think he has to pay you for that. All right, you have a counterclaim for $5,000. Oh, do tell. Tell me about that.
I received a call from the defendant here's uncle. He's a friend of mine. He goes, hey, what's going on with you and my nephew? I go, hey, who's your nephew? He's like the one you just sold the Taurus to. I said, why, what's going on? I said, I sold him the car, and his mother's girlfriend started getting crazy. I don't know. He's like, well, what happened? So I started explaining it, and as soon as I started explaining it to him, he's like, oh, they're lying, man. They didn't tell me that's what happened. I said, well, this is what happened, man. I even got text from...
Wait, that's your slander?
And they explained to him I'm a shady car salesman, things of that nature.
Well, that's what they think.
Okay, well that's my slander.
Right. I thought that you were telling me they posted it or they did something, to harm your business or something like that would be actionable. But, most people hate each other who are suing each other, and, that's kind of how it goes. That's their opinion is that you're shady. Guys, look, it's a simple thing, and I'm sorry that this happened to you. And I am sorry that it happened to you because you were excited. You wanted to buy your car. As I have often said to people, I need you to go on iTunes, and I need you to find a song called $1,000 Car. It ain't worth blank. Yeah. I've had $1,000 cars. I went through that. It was a long time ago. But, so really you've come to court with a lot of complaints and very little rights and evidence. And you don't have that right. I'm going to order you to pay the $640 that's remaining. That's what's going to happen. Verdict for the defendant. And on your counterclaim, just the $640. You don't get any of the rest. And
No
on your
slander?
claim against him, $0.
Both sides, hold on right there, please.
Well, after a lot of discussion, guess what? You got to pay.
Yes, yes. I still think it's wrong. I still think it's wrong. He promised so much, didn't deliver anything, but it's okay. Lesson learned.
Well, you have learned a valuable lesson. Absolutely. All right. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you. All right, Mr. Putnam, you're finally going to get the money.
Yeah, fine.
Yep. It's a long journey, but worth it. Right? I think.
At the end of the day, it wasn't worth it, but I'm just happy it's over with, pretty much.
Yeah, all right. I don't blame you. Okay, thank you very much. You must sign a few documents, and that'll do it. Harvey?
Okay, well, look, the only way to undo a sale like this is proving fraud. There is no fraud here, and further evidence, always take a car to a mechanic before buying it.